Teddy Smith is part of the firm, but specifically one of Ron's boys. He had a relationship with him. He was one of several lovers, I think, and he's kind of, yeah. I think his interaction depends largely on Ron. His interaction with the rest of the firm depends largely on Ron being there. He's a sort of, yeah, he's one of his young lads. There is a dynamic in their relationship where, on one hand, Ron possibly uses Teddy as a leaning post of sorts, although he'd never admit to it himself, as a kind of emotional support, someone to bolster him perhaps. But then the flip side of it, I think, as well, is that he has to constantly remind Teddy that, you know, he's the one in charge and he has life or death control over him. But I quite like to think in a way that Teddy gets a weird kick out of that, really, you know, and I think he occasionally likes to sort of just push his luck a little bit. He's an Oscar-winning writer, but seems to delight in you not honouring what he's written. Yeah, I think he really welcomes improvisation, and not even suggesting things before a scene. I think he. I won't put words in his mouth, but I think he quite likes it when you sort of surprise him, you know. So there's endless opportunities to kind of add little bits and bobs in, and you know, and I think there's something that, provided you're sensible with it, I think improvisation can really bring something to life. Working with Tom is quite extraordinary, actually. He's quite an intimidating character, and I think he's known for playing characters who are slightly, you know, on the edge, have a violent streak, and being around and with that in a scene takes a little bit of getting used to, because it's very authentic. You know, he does have this real threat and menace bubbling there all the time. You know, and it's. But I mean, I don't know if he'd like me saying this, but you get to know very quickly that he's a very generous, warm-hearted, big-hearted man. Tom plays Ron Kray, who the vast majority of my material is with, but he also plays Reggie Kray, his brother, and it has been really incredible watching that come to life and take shape, both in terms of what they're achieving with camera use and the cinematography of it, but also Tom and how he's managing to build a fraternal relationship with himself. It's incredible. So they'll film one side of the conversation, sometimes using split screen, for example, where they'll film say Reggie on one side, and then he'll then sort of swap round to the other side of the screen, different makeup, and film as Ron, with Reggie's dialogue being played out to him in his ear. And what he's then able to do, I mean, it must take so much work beforehand, and he must know the script inside out, is he's able to interrupt himself, play off reactions, you know, plan little minute reactions, and all without, you know, because acting is all about give and take, really, and he's managing to achieve that completely on his own. It really is quite incredible and quite wonderful to watch.